Hello, welcome and well met. WR Frady here. I'd like to welcome you back to another installment of Mapping Loren, the world of Areth. I'd like to start off by letting you see what kind of progress has been made since our last update. Things have been a bit busy, but I've actually gotten a pretty good ways. I got a lot of the mountains done. And we'll be working on another set of mountains today. But first, let's flip you around here and let you take a look at things. All right, get you started here. Whoop, whoop. There we go. All right. Now, as you can see, oh, where's that? Oh, here we go. Gotta get used to my tripod here. All righty. As you can see, we have come a long way. Let me flip this thing around here. You can see. As you can see, it's coming a long way since last you saw. There you go. Got all the mountains in the northern area of Loren, excuse me, coming down. We are down in this area, and we're almost at the bottom of this. And you know what's left after that? Once we get the mountains filtered in, next comes all the different forests and stuff. And I'm going to be honest, I am completely and totally excited for what we've got to come. Anyway, let me get you set up again here, and now lock you in. All right, so we're going to work on that set of snoutings. Let's get words down, right? Anyway, what we're going to do is we're going to flip you around down here again, and so I'm going to show you what we're going to work on, and then I'm going to pull it in. All right. As you can see, right here in this area, we're going to be doing this snake looking set of mountains, and if we got enough time, I might do one of these lower sets right in here. So what are we waiting for? Let me get the stuff I need and get us started. Anyway, I actually like being able to see it from up there now, and I don't feel like I'm having to mess with as much. Maybe streaming and things will go a lot better with this. Anyway, let's get this started. We're going to fill in these mountains. So the key element in building mountains like this and doing these mountains and filling them in like that is to give the appearance of the rock, like the granite and such that make up these mountains, but also have the snow caps out there above the frost line. I enjoy thoroughly being able to build these mountains and build these locations, but you know, it's like I was talking to someone earlier, I love the lore behind them, because a map can look nice and everything can look aesthetically pleasing, but at the same time, if you don't have story, if you don't have a background, a reason, then you know, it's all just a flat 2D surface with nothing but a pretty look at you. Kind of just imagine, well, what could have happened here? Or if it doesn't have a good rhyme or reason, you're wondering why. I love being able to create like this, and really has become kind of my identity in doing my writing, is that I love being a world builder. I love making these maps, these stories, these mythologies, and telling the stories that lead up to the stories that I want to tell. There is just so much involvement, and it's so welcoming. You see everything come together in a way that you don't see in just general storytelling. It's like it all comes together. You see the mountains form. You get to hear the stories about what develops it. And what I love to do is I like to actually make it to where you, the follower, the watcher, then eventually the reader, will be able to share in these worlds, and you'll be able to get to experience and see these worlds as they are. Yeah, I understand y'all can have, and it even gives you a chance to kind of develop some potential fan theories. Whether those fan theories test according to the history or not, that's another thing. But, you know, if you're creating fan theories, that also means that you are actively trying to take part in and build your own little ideas of what you think the world could have been yourself, which is great. That does not mean it's always going to agree with what is canon to the history, the legends, and where I have for this to go. But it says that you have a level of involvement that is more than just a passing interest. So there's good and bad to that, and I appreciate that idea. Let's see. I think the next one. I think the next one I'm going to try. I'm going to scoot you down here. You see that set of mountains right here? Okay, let's see. You see that set of mountains right there? That's where we're going to go now. Let's see what we can do with it. All right. Yeah, there's quite a bit through here. And let me move this out of the way. Wait a minute. I think I just saw a section right here when I was doing this I need to fix. Where are you? It's just in that area. I just saw it. Oh, okay, good. There you are. And fill in that. I knew I wasn't seeing things. At least I hoped I wasn't. Anyway. Yep. Let's try this again. Here we go. Now, we got this moving over. Now, once I get all this done, there is a point where I'm going to have to go through naming conventions, where I will be building the world according to name and what all is what, which I will be using a cultural references, considering what areas and what cultures are going to influence what areas. Like, for example, the areas up here in the north will be more with some fantasy, but we'll also have like some very Norse, Scandinavian, Finnish, Icelandic, those kind of names and such, and that probably a mixture of a number of, such as the frozen wastes of Valhalla and such. So that will make its own. So this area, depending on this, could have more of a tropical, but possibly even Indian style names, possibly even just depends. It could have, it might have some Aztec type names, Cambodian, those kind of things that fit along the jungle type nature of that. Even some South American, Peruvian. So yeah, there's going to be some ideas in those areas for this, because I want to touch on these lands with a sense of connection to what is, to the kind of culture you would imagine being in those areas. I mean, so you're still going to have some of the medieval European, Celtic, and all that mingled in with some of these other names as well. So I'm looking forward to seeing really what all comes of this. And honestly, I may develop, and if you know me as a world builder, if any of you have known me any length of time, you know that sometimes I like to just create and build my own culture, and it's because there is a creative freedom in so doing that just can't be replaced. Let's see what we got here. There we go. Let's see another little blank spot that I need to fix. And sometimes you see things as you're working that you don't normally see. Until you're already in the middle of doing this. So, let me fix this mountain range right here. A little fun fact on this. This is the first time I've actually hand colored my own map. Most of the time everything stays black and white. However, this is not one of them times, and I wanted a rich map that I could draw from when I am building my own fantasy stories, the legends, the myths, kind of getting a feel for the locations. All right, there we have it. Look at that. Put that right there. Now, where did I see that? Where's that area? Oh, there it is. Here I am again, doing all this. Okay, right here. Right there. There we go. Now, let's zoom in and let you take a look at that. All right, you see, so back up right there. Now look at that. Now you see, there's those mountains that I just finished up. And that is what is making the difference in this. Look at that. See, I still got those mountains out there I can do. I've got this big set of mountains. I've got this this mountain range at the sea. And I've got this one where the Nolanthia, the kingdom of the realm of ancient waterfalls, is. So, as you can tell, there is much to go on. I'm going to pull you around over here. All right, now look at that. Now see. Let's see. There we go. See, there's the northern lands. Come down to Loren. That's called Norwin or Nordwin. There's Loren, and there is Southern or Soren. I do need to build and do which I will probably do over here in this area somewhere, and possibly even one over here, but I've got the Cloud City of Miralon that needs to be done. And then also the Cloud Castle of Savatanura. So, there you have that. Anyway, as you can see, like I said, I've got these left down here, and the mountains themselves will be done. From there, we'll begin from north to south, working on the forests. And then ultimately, at the end of it all, will become the names. Anyway, so now back to on that. Anyway, that is where I'm at on the continent of Loren right now. As you can see, I think you may have noticed that my map was a little well illuminated. I put a work light over it so that I could see what I was doing just a little better so that my own shadow wouldn't get in the way. Anyway, let me get this straightened out here. Anyway, that being said, yeah, you can see some of my stuff behind me. As you can tell, I'm an avid nerd. I am more than proud of that. I wouldn't change that for anything or anyone. So, yeah, you see like way back here, you see my hand-drawn map of Middle Earth. I need to do that myself just once. Just once. This one I got from the Renaissance Festival, the Carolina Renaissance Festival. And yeah, when I showed the cartographer there some of my maps, they were impressed. So I felt really good that professional cartographers were looking at my maps, looking at pictures of my maps, and really appreciating the detail in which I put into it. And then you see right here, you see my metal Venetian mask, and that is sure metal, and it actually is the inspiration for one of my constellations for Loren. You see behind me, you see my tapestry of Ayami Kojima's Castlevania Symphony of the Night. Anyway, just a brief introduction to my place. Of course, you see my TV screen for my computer and such. So, anyway, and that's not counting my library, part of my library right there. I've got another way over here. So, and that library is actually smaller than it used to be. Long story, I may or may not go into that at a later date. But just a quick brief since you had to see what was behind me. Anyway, that being said, I am loving what's come, how Loren in the world of Areth is building. If you think that I'm going to be done when it comes to Loren, even after the naming scheme, let me refresh that you also have the Island of Agrain, which is in and of itself a complete island that is already done and completed. I don't know if I've got a chance to, I'll bring that one out and let you see that, because I will hand draw it to match what I'm doing with Loren and them. Also, I've got the continent of Gelinor, which I can show you a brief of that since you're already facing this way. And I probably showed it to you before, but all right now, here we go. And I was doing this one in my old style that I did before. This is the continent of Gelinor. So that's another one that I can be doing. And that's also a part of the world of Areth. Get this back over here where it goes. Fix that tracer. That tracer map is of its own. That tracer map was the map of all the rooms. Actually, it was Zandora, all the rooms of the world. But anyway, and then you've got some of my, then you've got where I am. Is this the right one? Nope, wrong one. Wrong one. I think this one might be it. Then you got this, if it's the one I'm thinking of, where you got the Chronicles and stuff. that I'm working on. So I need to finish. These are the histories and the mythologies of Loren as you would find them in the Cloud City of Miralon. So you're seeing, so I'm using and creating literal leather-bound tomes for the histories and the lores of the history and the lore and stuff of my fantasy world. Gives them more of an authentic feel. This is my passion. This is what I love to do. And the stories that are coming with it will bring these worlds to life. So I am absolutely ecstatic to share these things with you, and to share and to let you be a part of the journey that sees it coming to be. This has been a long time overdue, and maybe it is, maybe it's not. Everything happens in its time and for a reason, and sometimes what is happening is what's had to happen. But that time for me is now. It's time for me to get this going. It's been far too long. I want to thank you guys for joining me on this journey. One of these next episodes, perhaps I'll sit down and go through some of the lore and things with you. Tell some stories from the world of Areth, and let you get to hear, see, and share and the myths, legends, and lore that created this world and that are creating this world. Anyway, I want to thank you each and every one for joining me. I appreciate you, and I hope that when you tune in, that I would hope that one day down the road, when you're seeing these stories come to fruition, that you'll be sitting there going, I was a part of this journey just because, I was there when I was seeing this stuff come together. No, you're not the 20 plus years ago that I began working on this, but you're at the time when I'm taking it and moving forward and getting it more established than it already is. And I thank you and I welcome you being a part of that journey. Anyway, I will talk to you again soon. This is W.R. Frady. You have a good evening. Oh, before I leave, coming soon, especially in the next month or so, I am going to be doing a a series of ghost stories called W.R. Frady's Friday Night Frights. If you look on my page, you will see that there is a series called Live Ghost Stories by the Fireside. I ended that series last year because, sometimes you want to end things when things are good and they're not getting burnt out. There are some TV shows that need to learn that. But beyond that, while it was still enjoyable, I wanted to go into something new. And the W.R. Frady's Friday Night Frights originally began as a sequence on a podcast that I was a part of. Now I want to reach out and now I want to do this new set. It's going to allow me to possibly go on location to where I can film it ahead of time, do plenty of stuff on location, things that I was not able to do with the Live Ghost Stories by the Fireside. So basically, because when you're going live, you're reliant on the signal, but just videoing, you're not reliant. And so that will allow me to be able to get these stories and stuff up and ready. Anyway, I thank you. I appreciate you joining in. I hope I see you again soon. And then once we get to 50 subscribers on this channel to where I can go live, I will be glad to do some live streams to where while I'm working, you can pop in, ask questions, maybe even make some suggestions that you might like an idea too. If I like a suggestion well enough, I might even include it and give you a quick shout out of credit for it. Because, this is a good fantasy world. And, you know, this is the realm of imagination. It should be enjoyed. It should be fun. All right. Thank you. I appreciate you. I will talk to you again soon, and hopefully I will see you when I am doing WR Frady's Friday Night Frights. All right. Talk to you soon. WR Frady out. Have a good weekend.